The Olympia ferry anchored in the port of Ancona is getting ready to depart. The truck drivers are getting tired of waiting. Vasilis Matsos has come from Germany with a truckload of computers. He's paid 700 euros per trip, but he's getting less work these days. He's seen a 30% drop in earnings. He spent the last week on the road, and now he's looking forward to a couple of days with his family.
I'm happy to go back to Greece, but when I arrive to Greece, I need to go again to Europe because I cannot stay there many days. I need money and must go again to Europe.
Summer is almost over, and with fewer holidaymakers around, loading the ferry doesn't take too long. Passengers have to pay at least 76 euros for the 22-hour trip to Greece. The passengers include a few Greek tourists on their way home. They spent 800 euros on a 10-day tour of Austria and Germany. They'd been saving for a long time.
I only buy the basics in the supermarket, and I only use my car over the weekends. I also buy fewer clothes than I used to.
I can't go out as much as people usually do in Greece, just once a week. I'm careful with spending.
Crisis? There's no sign of it here on board, insists the head steward. He says the ferry was busy all summer. It was usually carrying 3,000 passengers and booked out. But he does say that visitors aren't spending as much. They tend to eat in the self-service cafeteria rather than the restaurant. But today, Vasilis and his fellow truck drivers have the place more or less to themselves. They're looking forward to a first-rate meal. They've been living off sandwiches for the last few days.
All the week we eat on the road, in Autohof. One day we do in sour and we eat like all the others. We enjoy that. It's one day.
The ferry will be reaching Greece in 18 hours' time. No one wants to discuss debts and the financial crisis. The next morning, while most of the passengers are still sleeping, Captain Antonio Avesa is already standing on the bridge. Like Greece, his home country of Italy is one of Europe's indebted nations. But he still sees a difference.
The situation is different between Italy and Greece because until now I have 45 years old. I always pay the tax, too much tax, and we are always in crisis. In Greece, until now they don't pay big tax, and my opinion is that Greece is a poor state full of rich people.
The Greek truck drivers beg to differ. Their government is constantly demanding they pay higher taxes too, they insist, as part of its radical austerity measures. Vasilis wants to send his son to a good university to improve his career opportunities.
He wants to study in England, in Cambridge University, but I think it's too expensive there, and where we found the money for the future for our children. I know what he wants, but it's impossible to give him, to offer him something better.
The ferry docks in Greece in the afternoon. Vasilis and the other truck drivers have no idea what the future here holds, but they're still glad to be home. 5 hours from now, Vasilis Matsos will be back with his family.